As a little girl, I grew up in this neighborhood. The same streets I'm walking down my children at, these are the same streets that I walked down as a child. This is home. How do you leave home, right? I've lived other places, but it's never home. This just felt like this is where I needed to be. You know, the West End has a boomerang effect. I go and I come right back. My family is a huge piece of me and who I am. My husband, Frank.
You mean I see him?
My dad. Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel. My daughter, Anaya. This is Zahara. And there's more people in the house. This is my mom. My family's from Ghana, West Africa. This is my sister, Claudette. My precious little nephew, Nehemiah. He's a sweetie. Yeah. My grandmother had 11 children. Like I have like 45, 50 cousins, immediate cousins. Because I have such a large family, I'm always thinking about someone else, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles. And so when you extend that far out, your next door neighbor, your co-worker, that's not too far because everyone is, you know, part of that extended family. When I started working in the Department of Health, one of the first data projects talked about the health of this community. And when you looked at the health outcomes for this neighborhood, it was unbelievable. The rates of hypertension, asthma, diabetes, heart disease, you name it, it was here. It wasn't one positive thing to say about the neighborhood that I lived in. It was tough to hear, but it also kind of pushed me to think about solutions. How do we determine our own opportunities for food access in the neighborhood? How do we empower ourselves to dictate what comes in this neighborhood? And how does it reflect us?
A lot of these African vegetables are maybe a little different to what you usually see. We have bitter melon, bitter ball, and some more eggplants going here. A lot of these things I'm just learning because this is my second year growing myself, and so many things I may have never seen in my life until about 2 years ago.
Started as a garden project on a small plot of land. After about a year or so doing surveys and focus groups with community members, we decided that we wanted to create the Sankofa Market or the Sankofa Initiative, which is really looking at building opportunities for people to become economically self-sufficient by growing and selling at the market, and to tap into the entrepreneurial spirit that almost always exists with members in this community.
No, not for me.
Angie just became a bundle of energy around Sankofa. And I truly believe it was Angie's enthusiasm that really infected everyone else.
Get my tent ready.
Blia Mua is a Hmong refugee, so he arrived here from Laos. Blia is growing the food that he's comfortable growing. He's gonna grow his bitter ball and his long bean and his tomato because they're the food that he eats.
We got into this country and it's hard to find this beautiful. But right now we can bring seed from overseas. And right now we can grow here.
He wants to sell his food, but he also wants to fill his fridge and his freezer so he can feed his family. But he was selling it as far away as Buffalo, New York. And now he can sell it in the neighborhood he lives in. He doesn't have to drive, you know, halfway across the East Coast to sell his goods.
So my name is Georgina Sarpong. I am a resident of the West End of Providence. By trade, I am a chef. So today we're gonna prepare this, just a quick early morning breakfast. And then everything is either from a farmer's market, Sankofa market, or the garden.
You have to split it.
And I didn't expect to find a bitter melon. I really did not, and I didn't even know what it was. I was so intrigued to find this little guy sitting there, and I'm like, what is this? I mean, it looked like a cucumber/pepper.
Sankofa is a Ghanaian word which literally translates to go back and get it.
I came home, started researching, how do you cook with bitter melons? You know, what culture is known for having bitter melons? And I found that some African countries, which I'm very shocked because I'm West African, so it specifically said West African countries use this.
Ankoma, the meaning is really about returning to your roots and returning to your cultural traditions and honoring and celebrating traditional cultures.
And that's usually what happens at Sankofa Market. Once you think you've seen everything, a grower or a vendor brings out something that you had no idea that ever existed. Voila!
I look at the vacant lots and I see various opportunities. I look at boarded up houses and I see opportunity. I look at the people and the families and I see opportunity. What people say and think about this neighborhood motivates me even more than anything. That nothing good can come out of this neighborhood, or that just another story of a shooting or a blighted property. For me, it's like, okay, that's an opportunity for us to prove them wrong.
This is so good. It has a lot of flavor to it.
Really? It tastes different than a regular beef.